and thank you so much for coming out tonight. This is our Media Arts Winter Showcase. Normally we do our showcase in the fall, but due to COVID and whatnot, we are having it now. Thank you all so much for coming out. We appreciate your support, and we certainly appreciate all of our students' hard work, some of which you'll get to see tonight. For those who do not know, my name is John Kelly Shelburne. I'm the Media Arts Instructor here at MSA. I want to go briefly over the program we're going to have tonight. You'll see a handful of things. You'll see 5 junior one-shot narratives. At the beginning of the year, I asked junior students to come up with a short film idea that tells the entire story in one shot with no edits and no use of dialogue. Some of you may have already seen these on our YouTube channel, but it's always fun to see them on the big screen. Next, you'll have 2 short films that were made by our film and audio production class, which is a combined junior and senior class, which the juniors and seniors work together on. And then you'll see a short film that was made by a senior, Greg Reese. Then, after that, we will have a brief Q&A with the filmmakers from the first half of our show. And then we'll have about a 5-minute intermission. And then when we come back, we will have our seniors showing their documentary films. And then we'll have a Q&A with them. And then that will be our program for tonight. So once again, and we are live streaming this event, which is exciting. And if you enjoy the films you see tonight, by all means continue to check out our YouTube channel, MSA Media Arts, as we're putting up new films in the next couple of weeks that the students have also worked on. So, we sincerely hope you will enjoy the films tonight, and we look forward to seeing you at our break when we do our Q&A. Thank you.
Reggie, please reconsider. I love you more than anything in this entire world. You can't just give up on what we have.
I'm sorry, Martha, but it's not into my nature to love. We would only hurt each other.
But, I can't do this.
So what's the issue?
I'm just having trouble with you know who.
River, please, I know he's difficult, but we're almost wrapped for tonight. Okay? We just need to get this one last shot, and we'll be done. Okay? One more.
Perry, you don't get that camera out of my face right now.
I'm sorry, man. It's just Captain's orders.
What have I told you and Jules? He didn't want me to be one of his actors, so I don't want to be in his stupid documentary.
It's not making sense.
I guess you look alright.
I would have rather to Coke. I saw Little Miss make a brush this being in your face since this a second ago. I can't believe she's still bitter about losing the role to you. It's been months, and I saw her audition. It was a tragedy. This was for the best. Hold on. You'll have to excuse me.
I love a good acting challenge, and nothing is more challenging than acting like I'm in love with him. I mean, Wanda isn't a great actress, but she's not tragic.
Come on, you just feel bad because you beat her to the role. Now she's treating everyone badly.
And what if I am?
You can't help her attitude. You're just better than her.
Between Wanda being upset and Jake being, well, Jake, I'm just ready for this shoot to be over.
You and me both. All right, everyone. Let's keep going. Where's Jake?
I saw him at Crafts a second ago. He was headed for the bathroom.
Somebody get me Jake.
We doing okay up there?
Somebody get an ambulance! It's Jake. He's passed out on the bathroom floor. He's not breathing.
I am so sorry to the both of you. I cannot believe I let this happen. This is my set. It should not have happened at all.
You couldn't have known. No one could.
I mean, from what I hear from the police, at least one of us did. I just can't see any one of us doing it.
I'm just glad that stupid documentary got us all accounted for. I don't know what I would do if it were either of you.
Jules, how are you gonna finish your movie without Jake?
Perry, that's not important right now. A man's dead.
Then, can we just turn the camera off? Don't you think it's a little insensitive?
How are you guys holding up?
Did you just get done with the police?
Yeah, they're searching everyone's things now.
Okay, good. I don't think we're holding up great, but we could be doing worse.
Oh, that's good. I just want to say, well, I'm sorry for how I treated you all earlier. I was mad at Jules and his casting choices, and I was jealous of Rivers. With it put into perspective now, it doesn't matter.
Wanda, it's fine, really. I mean, show business is complicated, and we're all just trying to make a living. And with Jake, it doesn't really matter anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, come, sit down. We can wait this out together.
Take a seat.
Hello, officer.
Wanda Sears,
What is this about?
come with me.
For what? What's going on?
You're under arrest.
For?
Murder of Jacob Billings, come on.
I didn't do anything.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of
I
law.
want a lawyer.
If you can't afford one, you get one by the courts. Y'all are about to be free to go. We have enough on her to arrest her. We found cyanide in her possessions.
But that doesn't make any...
Y'all just wait here. Somebody will be here to tell you when you're free to go.
Help! Get him off of me! I'm innocent! Let me go! Help! I want a lawyer! Help!
Cyanide's fast acting. I don't know when Jake could have taken it. I'm gonna need a drink after this.
Harry, I'm serious. I don't know what... What did you just say?
I'm gonna need a drink after this. Like Coke or something.
I got you. Harry, Jake had my drink tonight. From Craps. Right before he ran upstairs into the bathroom. You don't think...
Oh look. Jules left one of the scripts. This isn't good.
What do we do?
Hey, I forgot my script. Let's... River!
Hey, Kelly,
Yeah?
you got a letter too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think we got here early, do you?
No, I don't think so.
Thank you guys for being punctual. I appreciate it. You know why we're here? I've decided that we're gonna try again.
Sky, our last 2 times were a bust.
I know, but listen, I've got a new plan, okay?
Alright then, let's hear it.
Okay, in our first job, we decided that if we just waited till the movie was over and then went out to eat, we wouldn't have to buy that overpriced garbage. But, we still got hungry and ended up buying it anyways.
We also missed the best part of that movie.
Yeah, I'm still kind of pressed about that.
I know, guys, I know. In our second plan, we decided that we were going to go eat before the movie started. But then everything went belly up when we all needed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the movie. John, hurry up!
It's the girls' restroom.
Kelly's in there!
Sounds a lot like a personal problem.
Kelly!
Again, we missed the best part of the movie.
Yeah, still kind of mad about that one.
I know, okay? But I've taken the best parts of both of those plans, and I've surmised an apex idea.
Well,
Well, Kelly, it's simple. We're just gonna eat during the movie. Then we won't have to worry about going to the bathroom, and we won't have to worry about getting hungry.
hey, whoa!
And you want us to conform to the outrageous prices of those movie snacks? You son of...
Sit down, John! Watch your mouth! No, my friends. My plan will far surpass anything we have previously thought. Using covert and indiscriminate means, we will successfully sneak in snacks into the movie theater. John, you are going to sneak in food underneath the top hat. You'll simply put it on and walk right into the movie theater. And Kelly, for you, I have a teddy bear. We'll make a precise incision on the bear and then hide the contraband within. And then bam, snacks.
My God, it's genius.
How could we have never thought of this?
If we manage to pull this off, we might be able to see an entire movie.
We just might. All right, we have our plan. Let's Delta and meet up in 5 hours, okay? Great. It's closed. Do you at least know where John is?
Nope. Hello?
Hey, you guys know the theater closed already, right?
Yeah, we kind of figured that out.
Idiots.
Okay, new plan.
to invite our filmmakers to come up for our Q&A session. Okay, I'm going to hand them a microphone and let them introduce themselves and the film that they worked on.
Hi, my name is Curtay Mitchell, and I wrote and directed The Umbrella.
Hi, my name is Hamana Medina, and I wrote and directed That Which Shall Not Be Named.
Hello, I'm Addison Laird, and I wrote and directed both A Minor Rewrite and Scubophobia.
I'm Ronnie Reese, and I directed New Plan.
I'm Sierra Swams, and I wrote and directed Friendless.
I'm Michael Hart, and I wrote and directed Mirrored Morning.
Does anybody have any questions for our filmmakers? Glenn?
I love Greg and your film. I absolutely love that the desyncing of your audio matched up with the subtitles. Was that an intentional choice?
No, not at all.
I love happy accidents.
I would actually disagree that it was happy. I'm very upset about that, but.
Yes.
Your new plan, I really liked the style of it. I thought it was really good.
Thank you
Where
so
did you get
much.
the inspiration for that?
I got some inspiration, like for the words. Oh, brother. John Wick, they had some stylized subtitles in there, but there is that movie with. Versus the World. Scott Pilgrim versus the World! Sorry, terrible with the names. A lot of the inspiration came from that, the directing style of Edgar Wright, and there was a lot of symmetry because I had watched a Wes Anderson film right before that. Thank you.
Anton?
All right, I have a question for Michael. First off, thank you for having me in your films. I appreciate it. So at the last part where I was fixing my hair, why didn't you tell me I had one facing forward like I'm pointing at the camera?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question for Addison.
Hello, Malay.
Both of your films are lovely. My question is, what's it like to be able to write something and then like take what you've written and make it into a thing that like moves and
Oh boy, it's actually fairly easy, just because as you're writing it, you kind of have like an idea of how you want it to look, and also like I've done a lot of like scripts that are pre-written for me, so it's very easy to kind of like know what I want and will be able to do like from a script. So yeah. Yeah.
it's like to be so talented and creative.
Oh, just stop it. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I have a question for Curtay. I just want to know, where did you come up with the idea for your film? And how did you pick the actor that you chose?
It was a personal experience I had in the beginning of the year. And I don't know, I just chose the most beautiful person that I saw.
Yes.
I have a question for the juniors. So, what was it like filming with the
like this out a lot.
Yeah, it was a great experience, and I hope we get to do it again before you guys leave.
If you have time for one or two more. Oh, yes.
I have a question for Addison.
Yes.
How difficult was it production-wise to do a minor rewrite versus recycling the end? Because it seemed like the first one took a lot more work and skill.
There's a lot to say about the production of a minor rewrite. I wrote it probably in September, and we started filming in October, and we finished maybe in January, just because originally our director character was cast as Cornelius Kemple. Yay. He was great, but unfortunately because of COVID and things like that, we weren't able to finish it with him. So with most of the film already filmed, like about half of it, we had to recast with Matthew Cox. And so that was fun. And then on top of that, about like the last half of the film, the three main characters are sitting on a bed, and Elizabeth, yeah, we broke that bed. We're not gonna put all the blame on Connor. All three of y'all were sitting on it, and then it just collapsed.
It didn't just Connor jumped on it.
Whoa. Okay. But yeah, and then what was the other? Scubophobia. Thank you for that incredible title, McLean. That was so much easier. Just because, well, we were only working with really 2 actors, and so it was just easier to film because we didn't have to work around everyone's schedules. We thank Anton for being a part of that. He was wonderful. He had to learn that fight sequence. It was great.
It hurt.
Yeah, thank you.
And last question at the back.
I have a question for Addison. How did you pull off like the shot where like Connor falls to the ground?
I think that's.
So, Mr. Shelburne entrusted me. It's that camera right there. How much? $5 grand. So what we did is we took one of the legs of the tripod and we pulled it off. And so it's just on 2 legs. And then you take it and you just drop it and you catch it before it drops. Oh, well, yeah, I'm holding it, of course, and not just dropping it, crossing my fingers. So you kind of just hold it and then it just drops. Just like that.
Giving these guys a bit of round of applause. And thank you so much. We will have a quick 5-minute break, and then we will proceed with our senior documentaries. Hi, my name is John Kelly Shelburne. I'm the media arts instructor at the Mississippi School of the Arts in Brookhaven, Mississippi.
When the pandemic hit, what were your first thoughts in knowing that your students would not be able to attend the spring semester?
Well, at first I went into a panic mode because media arts is very technology heavily dependent, and I was concerned that students would be able to finish their work at home because I wasn't sure what kind of equipment they had access to, in particular editing equipment. But luckily there were so many different softwares available for students to be able to edit for free that I slowly became more confident, and certainly students stepped up to the plate.
Now that we've returned to school, how have you adapted the media arts program to a COVID lifestyle?
Well, certainly everybody's wearing masks in class. Everybody stays 6 feet apart. Scenes are carefully selected so that they don't require students to be close together. All of the equipment is wiped down with disinfectant wipes at the end of every day's filming. Students are usually given more time to work individually so that they're not having to work in groups as much. But basically, yeah, we just keep everything sanitized and socially distanced.
How do you compare working on a cell phone to making films on, traditional film?
iPhones are really revolutionizing filmmaking. It used to be to get a really high quality film, you had to have a very expensive camera. But luckily, technology has evolved so much that smartphones really have a high quality picture so that students are able to get their work done and it not look like it's on an iPhone, it looks like it's on a professional camera. Sometimes iPhones look much better than regular cameras. So I think that iPhones have definitely helped us along. Certainly during our quarantine last March and April, students were able to get their final films done on their iPhone and even edit on iPhones. So I'm definitely happy with the way that the smartphones have been able to keep us going during the pandemic times.
How do you think the film industry is going to adapt after the coronavirus has worn its course?
Well, we're already seeing a lot of adaptations. Certainly, streaming services are going to be booming more than they already have. Although that does make me a little sad because I'm afraid that theaters are going to get phased out. But there's certainly a lot of places to distribute your films. YouTube, for example, all the different streaming sites such as Netflix, Apple TV, CBS Access, etc. So there's going to be more places available for filmmakers to be able to release their products. The revolutionization of iPhone technology, filmmakers can certainly make films without having to get big, expensive crews and equipment. And so between more portable cameras and more options to stream, I think there's going to be more outlets for films to be made.
I'm Jennifer McMorris, and I'm an elementary music teacher.
I'm Stephen McMorris, and I'm a field director.
I'm Bradley McMorris, and I'm a 7th grade student at North Pike Middle School.
My name is Elizabeth McMorris, and I am a 5th grade student at North Pike Upper Elementary.
Can you tell us a little bit about the various parts you play at the theater?
Well, at Matilda, I played my debut role as Mrs. Wormwood. I've also just really enjoyed being a theater mom.
Well, I started off in Matilda the Musical as the lighting director, and then for Frozen Junior, I also was lighting director, but also moved into overseeing all the technical stuff as technical director, and then technical director again for the Diary of Anne Frank.
In Matilda, I was an ensemble role of Eric, and in Frozen, I was the part of Olaf.
So how did your family get into the theater?
I wanted to try something a while back, and then just decided one day to walk in and ask some questions. We got inquired about the show Matilda, and we decided just give it a try. That day, we decided to audition. At first, it was just me and Bradley that decided to audition, but the excitement and everything was so great that Elizabeth decided to audition as well. So we auditioned, and boom, all of a sudden we were a part of the theater.
So what have been your favorite parts about being here at the theater?
Oh my goodness, so many things that we've loved about it. First of all, the family that this is. We didn't realize when we became part of the theater, the community and the family that this really is. It's such a tight-knit group of people. And we didn't really have that. It's something that we haven't found other places. And so when we came to this, we became part of a family. And it's been really neat. It's also just it's a great creative outlet that we didn't realize that we were missing.
How do you think being at the Buchanan Little Theater, do you think it's been a good influence for your kids?
Oh my goodness, we could talk for the rest of the time that you have about that. Both of our kids, this has been just such an incredible experience for Bradley. When we stepped into the theater, it was just, wow. I mean, it was like he came to life. It was like we had found his place. And when he did his initial role of Matilda and then later got the role of Olaf, which was just his role of a lifetime, it was incredible. And to see him shine in that way after trying so many different things was incredible.
Even when it is safe to return to the theater when the pandemic is over, do you think the feeling of the Buchanan Little Theater, do you think it will be the same as before?
I think a lot of things will return once you get a group of people back together and that community is reestablished. But I think just like the entire world, COVID-19 has literally changed the world, and I think it has changed the world permanently. There will be things that as a result of it will forever be different. And I think it's going to be a process going back. I think it may be in phases to where we can start doing a little bit at a time. But I do think at some point, things will start to return to what we perceive as normal. There may be some things that are forever changed. And I think those are things we still just are unsure about.
Are you ready to be back?
Oh, yes. I would drop everything to come right back here.
I cannot wait till we get to come back.
My name is Connor Davis, and I am a media arts student here at Mississippi School of the Arts.
Due to the COVID crisis, and us having to continue our studies at home, what was it like trying to make your short films at your house?
Making short films at my house has been increasingly difficult because of not being able to go to certain areas that I would use as a set, mainly because they would either be closed or there are a large amount of people.
What's it like using, say, something like a cell phone over a traditional camera?
It's odd. Using a cell phone and trying to edit that footage it's different, especially because I was used to the cameras here and the equipment that we've been using.
What's it like in trying to procure actors for your films?
Getting actors is actually a very difficult process, especially in my case. I was planning to do my documentary and interview people about not only them but their cars, and every single person happened to go to the same party, and all 6 of my actors got COVID.
Do you think that filming at home, using cameras, does it have a different feel than working, say, at school?
Oh, absolutely. I think that the amount of creative freedom not only increases, but it also can decrease because you're not able to use a lot of the assets that we have here.
Hey, I'm Robert Brooks, and I'm the theater instructor here at the Mississippi School of the Arts.
What were your thoughts when the current pandemic shut down the school?
Well, originally my thoughts were it'll probably be the rest of the semester before we get back to school. Other people were saying it would happen sooner, and actually it ended up going a lot longer than that.
How are you able to teach theater online?
It's not easy. It's really difficult. And I feel like sometimes we're not getting the best acting instruction that we could be getting in person when we're working online. But what you have to do is you have to focus on energy and focus on interpretation. And it's a good chance to teach the students how to act for the camera.
Now that we're back at school, how have you changed your teaching methods to include social distancing?
There are some acting exercises that I've had to just take out of my course and put it on the bottom of the stack and hope to get to it next year. Exercises that involve being close, whispering, touching, exercises that involve running, for example, or vigorous movement. So we've had to focus mainly on vocal techniques and we're still able to do scenes, but we only block them with 6 feet of distance at all times.
How are you able to do performances while, once again, trying to ensure social distancing?
That's a good question. In the fall, we were not able to allow outside visitors on campus. So we had to live stream. Actually, we used Zoom this time for our fall performance of All on the Timing by David Ives. We were able to allow MSA students to come and watch the performances, but we marked our chairs so that none of the students would be closer than 6 feet apart.
In terms of other theaters, do you think the theater industry will be able to perform plays safely, like in general?
Yes, as soon as the vaccines have been distributed to whatever the percentage is, I've heard different numbers, but it's well over 50%, the theater should be able to get up and run just normally the way they did before. Until then, there's been a lot of theater online, but I know in England, they have reopened some of the live theaters. They've used social distancing in the audience. Some of them have beefed up their ventilation systems, within the theater spaces. And also, they've chosen plays where the actors don't have to be very intimate with one another, or else it's a small cast play where they just accept that they're exposed to each other.
Has the pandemic given you any new insight into the power of acting and how it affects both the actor and the audience?
Yes, it has. I think I found that it doesn't reach as well online. That there is something about being in the same room with a performer that you can feel their energy a lot more intimately and a lot more intensely. And it just doesn't come through the internet.
Do you think that being in the theater program, your students being in the theater program with these guidelines, do you think that will help them mature as actors?
Yes, definitely. I think it will. Because any kind of adversity, any kind of obstacles that you put in front of an artist of any variety is going to make them learn how to do their art in new, more creative ways, and that makes them grow as an artist.
So, what is alternative fashion? Well, alternative fashion is defined as fashion that at one time wasn't a part of the mainstream. So it has a very loose definition. I find that when people hear the term alternative fashion, they think goth, punk, emo, things that are like dark and edgy, and that is a part of alternative fashion, but that's not all that it is. Alternative fashion is a term that describes a lot of different people in a lot of different subcultures of fashion. I was able to interview 3 amazing people with great styles, but not all of alternative fashion is represented in just 3 people, or even just 3 styles. But fashion is something I'm interested in, and I feel like there are a lot of misconceptions around alternative fashion or dressing alternatively. So I just wanted to sit down with these 3 awesome subjects and just figure out, why do they dress like that?
I'm Simon. I'm 16. I'm almost 17. I'm kind of somewhere between goth and punk. And I say that because my style is more like aesthetically goth, if that makes sense.
Hi, I'm Kelly Matthews and I am 17. I have no idea. It's just like, I've been like told many different things. Like some people tell me that I dress like their grandpa. I get told that I look like a couch. I have a tendency to kind of overdress for the occasion.
I was gonna say, I think that you're saying that. I've never seen you in just like a t-shirt and jeans.
I am Annabelle Laird and I am 15 years old.
I don't really know. It's kind of like color, but with some edgier elements, I guess.
Like what?
Like this choker, kind of. And then these gloves, for sure.
I actually dressed pretty normal as a child. Actually, when I was a child, I really liked pink. All my clothes had pink on them. So when I was little, my dad was alternative. And when I got internet access, I wanted to start listening to music. A lot of alternative styles are music-based. And I would go into, like the comment sections, and I would start reading about, different things, just browsing the internet. I heard about this thing called emo. I was like, what is this? I go and look online, and I'm like, this is pretty cool.
It was very interesting. I gotta say, I don't speak of those days. I've gone through many different types of phases. Nothing super extreme. I didn't go through an extreme goth phase. I used to just wear a bunch of things that didn't go together. I didn't really care about clothes, and I would wear the ugliest things ever. I never just went clothes shopping for myself.
I would wear just some random print leggings with a big t-shirt over it. Don't laugh at me.
I know, but
and the stretchy
the same
headbands,
thing.
and I would just push my hair back, forehead exposed.
You just kind of wore whatever mom bought you.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever appeared in your closet.
I just didn't care.
I remember specifically saying something along the lines of I'm gonna start, choosing my own clothes.
The moment that I can say that it finally it changed was in 8th grade. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get my knee-high black boots and start wearing chokers, the knee-high Converse. That's when I got them, because I'm like, you know what? I want to wear these. And I wore them with my dress to homecoming, which was black. Basically, I got tired of conformity, and I was just tired of stuff, wanted to be my own person, because I was sick of everything.
Probably around 5th grade is when I really started is when I went to Hot Topic for the first time. So that's when I really got interested in what I was wearing. Definitely I used to watch a lot of YouTube, and I still do, but I used to watch a lot of YouTube. And a lot of people I watched had a bunch of dyed hair, and they just wore really cute clothes, and that was the first time I realized that that's the first time I discovered dressing alternative.
I get so much inspiration from the people I go to school with. Because we go to school with some fashionable people. Some movies from the 80s. I love Pretty in Pink. Music artists I like that dress really wacky. There's this genre of music that kind of developed in the 70s and lasted throughout the 80s, and it's called New Wave. And I am so deeply inspired by those music artists and their fashion.
Just a lot of social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, just in general.
I really like Lydia Deetz. I used to love.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I still do love the movie Beetlejuice. And I really liked Tim Burton's movies for a long time, The Corpse Bride, and Nightmare Before Christmas. I do follow a lot of people on TikTok who happen to also be goth. TikTok and Instagram are probably the two main places where I'm the most active. So a lot of alternative is rooted in DIY. I've made clothes before, I've sewed them. I also shop at a lot of thrift stores.
I love to thrift or take clothes from people. 90% of my clothes are secondhand.
I think it's really important that we use what we have instead of, buying from all these fast fashion companies, because fast fashion produces a lot of clothing waste. It's really more environmentally friendly if we use, what we have, because a lot of these clothes, that people don't want anymore, they oftentimes get thrown into landfills or end up in the ocean, and they can just cause a bunch of problems. And I think it's really important that we, that we use what we have and that we start making things.
I cannot wear anything with at least one necklace, without at least
it is a big part of goth like subculture, you know, very big eyeliner and very, you know, exaggerated eyebrows, you know, black lipstick. I know it differs from person to person. I like accessories. I think they're fun.
A necklace I got for my birthday years ago. I got this from Amazon just for Christmas. I got this for Christmas.
I'm actually not wearing anything like that crazy. I mean, like for my standards.
Okay.
'Cause I'm just wearing kind of like my double eyeliner and then some bright lipstick and then like some pink cheeks. Without my accessories, I'd just be wearing a jeans and t-shirt right now.
And I got this T-Rex necklace for Christmas.
Wait, I didn't realize that was a necklace until you like pulled it forward. I thought that was a I was like, wait a minute.
It's hard to do every day, and I don't do it every day. Actually, a lot of alternative people do not dress up every day.
Yeah, all the time. Always. Every time I see I see a new picture of someone dressed, I'm like, oh. And that just changes it just slightly. Every time I see someone else, every time I wear a new outfit, it's just changed slightly.
Yes, I want to wear more. I want to see if I can find a 1940s dress or something like that because they look cool. And try makeup, do better at that. Get better at styling my hair. I want to try more styles.
It's definitely a process, but I feel like most people who are into fashion, usually, their style develops. And I'm still trying to develop mine, and I'm sure I'm not going to look the same in a year that I do now.
Okay, thank you.
It's very in-depth analysis.
It looked like you were driving a car. It changes every.
I'm supposed to be twisting something? I don't know.
So slightly.
I don't really know what I was trying to do.
All right, thank you.
I'm so honored to. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you for choosing me to be one of your
Yes, of course. It's okay. Thank you so much. This was nice. I know having a set style or fashion in general doesn't interest everybody, but I still think it's an amazing tool that everyone can utilize in order to just express themselves to the world.
My name is Kristen Davis.
My name is Casey Langford.
I am a flight paramedic.
I'm a flight nurse and air medical base supervisor for PHI Air Medical.
As a flight paramedic, I start a lot of IVs, administer medications to stop seizures. For pain management, I help do drug calculations and insert medications into the pump and stabilize your wounds and injuries prior to getting you to the hospital.
So as a flight nurse, part of our job is to take care of sick patients. We try to offer the quickest route for sometimes to prevent delay in patient care. We also offer critical care experience that we have.
Fly.
I chose to become a flight paramedic because I was a ground paramedic for almost 10 years. And one of my friends told me that I needed to have more of a challenge in my life and my career.
Well, I have been a nurse for 17 years. I started out as an LPN. Did LTAC, which is long-term acute care. Then I progressed into emergency medicine. Then later into trauma. I became the trauma program manager of a level 3 trauma center. And I've always wanted to be able to provide the highest level of care I could give to my patients. And part of that is also learning to critically think on a different level and be able to give patients care that otherwise they would not receive. And I saw some deficits in some of the care that I've seen patients receive. And it's just because some facilities just don't have the ability to obtain the education. And so part of being a flight nurse is not only being able to provide that critical care knowledge and skill to these patients, but I'm also able to go to these facilities and teach them what I know so we can all improve on the care that we're giving and providing to these patients.
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
My qualifications and years of experience helped me get this position. I was a paramedic for 10 years before with my associates in emergency medical science, focused on paramedicine. And then after that, I decided to go back and get a bachelor's degree in emergency medical science.
Again, I was an RN for 17 years. Throughout the years, I have obtained my certified emergency nurse certification. I'm also trauma certified, recognized. I had that certification. I have multiple certifications because I've pushed myself and reached for as much education as I was able to obtain.
I went to college to fly fixed wing and realized helicopters looked a little more interesting, so I joined the Army to go fly helicopters. And then after the Army, went to Wisconsin to fly twin-engine EMS helicopters, and then they moved me down here to Mississippi.
Really haven't had any scary experiences as a flight paramedic. Been doing it 2 years as a flight paramedic, and nothing that comes to mind as a flight paramedic has scared me.
Not a single time.
No.
My father hasn't botched a landing once.
No, they land very smooth.
You don't have to lie to me.
They land smooth.
Whew. To be honest, every day that I know that I'm going to be on the flight line and that it is my decisions and my critical capabilities, my skills, my knowledge base, that is going to be what's going to keep my patients from meeting the Grim Reaper, is a scary day. Because I can make one miscalculation on my medications. I can not see a trauma that's, because I'm tunnel vision on something else. Every day is a scary day.
Coming in on landing one time, we were going over 100 miles an hour, and I had 2 ducks come through the windshield at night, and it damaged me pretty good, and the helicopter went upside down. And we lived.
My favorite part of the job is just being able to experience the amazing sights we see when we're flying to a scene. It's actually slightly calming.
My favorite part of the job, again, with being a nurse for 17 years, I have treated multiple different patients, all the way from pregnant moms to the ends of their life. And it's tough. You get to know these patients, and you get to feel and know their families, and you become empathetic and you're compassionate with them. And to have the autonomy and the ability to do what is necessary and not have to rely on someone who may not feel the same way or agree with you. You can see the situation and you can do something about it and make a difference. That is the biggest thing. That is my favorite part, is the fact that I can make a difference.
Friday.
So what do you guys do when you're in the back of the helicopter?
There's minimal room. Our patient will sit here. The bags come over here with me. My partner will sit here with the patient's head in her lap, pretty much. I'll sit all the way back because the bags have to be easily accessible to me. I have to be able to get my medications, my intubation equipment, and my suction out of any of the bags at any given moment. I have to be able to reach them. Then we've got a few devices here on the back.
There's a lot of equipment in there that we don't use a lot, but we keep on here just in case we need it for those special occasions. We also keep warm blankets. The reason being for that is trauma patients don't do well when they're cold, and so we have to keep them warm.
In this bag we keep all of our intubation equipment, medications for intubation. We keep our suction, and we also keep a few splints in here. And in the back bag We've got all of our medications, our infusions, whereas we keep the rest of the stuff on the walls easily accessible. We don't have to think about where they are, we just kind of can grab.
We are kind of confined to our seats. There's not a lot of room to move around. So I can grab a flush, I can grab my syringe, I can reach right here, grab my pump, bag of fluid, tubing, whatever I need. We go through every morning and we count every item and we make sure every item is where it's supposed to be. That way I can close my eyes and I can look and feel and know where everything should be. This is one of our go bags. Inside this bag we have intubation equipment, ambu bags. I have a pediatric and an adult ambu bag. I have trauma supplies, and I also have what we call an OG tube, which is something we slide down inside of their mouth or inside their nose to empty the stomach contents for trauma patients. Turn it on and it's covered with a cover, and you can actually see video of what you're looking at. Scissors, tourniquets, these are needle decompression spears. They're very, very long.
We're going to go over the basic controls of the helicopter and what they do. The first one that we're going to talk about is the collective, and that increases the angle of attack, the pitch on the whole rotor system. Second one is the cyclic, and it moves the pitch of the rotor in specific areas depending on if I want to go forward, left, right, or backwards. And then down near my feet, some people would call them rudder pedals, but we wouldn't in the helicopter world. They increase the pitch or the thrust in the tail rotor, and they'll point the nose of the aircraft to the left or to the right.
Airmed 2, launch request. Neshoba County C, Airmed 2, launch request. Neshoba County C, heading 3415.
Hey Ron, the patient weighs 120 kilos. I got the MBGs. Where did Ron go?
I don't know, is he out there?
Hey everyone, in today's documentary, you will see two females who both go to JPS talk about how one prefers virtual learning over traditional learning and the other way around. Let's find out why.
My name is Julia Carter and I prefer traditional schooling. I used to always wonder what would it be like to be an online student, and now I know. I prefer traditional schooling because it allows me to interact with my teachers and my fellow classmates face to face. I need that face-to-face communication with my teachers. It's very important to me. For one, I am a visual and kinesthetic learner, so that's very important. For two, my teacher is not only aware of what I'm having trouble with and what I'm good at, but also my classmates as well. Being online, it makes it very hard to detect that. Being able to communicate with my fellow classmates, it helps me build my communication skills and also helps me identify what I want in a friendship. Also, being able to join clubs and participate in activities to help me expand my horizon. which looks very well on college applications. Also, I get to build memories with my classmates. Of course, as I leave high school, things will be different, but having those fun moments and being able to look back on that is amazing. Also, the environment change. At home, I'm consistent with my family, and looking at a computer screen, and that's not very healthy. It has had its downsides. Also, networking issues. I have had many problems with technical issues that I didn't have at school. It's frustrating not being able to go to class or not being able to complete an assignment because I am having trouble with my internet. And I've had difficulties in certain classes. Not every class can be taught online. If you ask me what have I learned from 2020 and 2021, it will be that traditional school is very important and that I will never take it for granted ever again. Online students, y'all take care.
So, we're going to talk about virtual learning and traditional in-person learning. Okay. So, virtual learning, I would say, right now I'm actually doing virtual learning, but I would say that I like virtual learning more just because traditional learning is just like in person and like I'm a big, introvert and stuff. So I just like to stay home a lot, and I'm also a homebody, so I like to stay home a lot. And I guess I just took advantage of the situation because I find virtual easier, so I chose virtual. And then other people chose, traditional hybrid. Hybrid is virtual and traditional learning. And I just found that really confusing. And plus, I would just say that I didn't want to go back to school just because I go to an all-black school. And I mean, black people are my people, but, the atmosphere is just, it's just, just the whole ratchetness, the hoodness, I didn't want to go back, so I just chose virtual. And my schedule is, my homeroom is SEL learning, which is social emotional learning. That, and then my first block is history. This is on 8 days. 8 days. First block is history. Second block is ICT2. Third block is ELA. Fourth block, after third block I have a lunch break, which is from 11:25 to 12:45. And then after my lunch break is fourth block, which I got math in. And then after math, I got my last class, which is fifth block. And I have learning strategies class with my homeroom teacher. And then on B days, I have homeroom, same person homeroom. And then first block I have PE, second block I have art class, visual arts class, and then third block I have science class, then my lunch break, and then fourth block, after fourth block I have independent study, which we do freckles and stuff like that. And if you're not in the JPS district thing, then you might not know freckles. Yeah. And after independent study, I have learning strategies with my science teacher. And then, yeah, that's it. That's what I would say. I like virtual more, and it's basically off of preference. If you prefer the other one, off the other one. But in my opinion, I love virtual way more, so I stuck virtual. Thank you.
Thank you for watching my documentary, and I hope this enlightened you on how each student is different. Some prefer online while some prefer traditional. Some prefer social existence while some prefer social distancing. And I really hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Cars. Why do car guys even like cars in general? I mean, what's the point? Some people think they're just, something to get you around from point A to point B. But car guys can see their potential. You could have grown up in a household full of people that love cars, or can be exactly like me. I'm a first generation car guy. Take this car for example. It's so fast that it needs 2 parachutes and a wheelie bar so they don't crash. Classic Ferrari, classic Porsche, classic Mercedes, even an Austin Healey. These cars are being collected all over the world. That car is from 1956. There's no airbags, no seat belts, nothing. It's just the driver and the road. This Plymouth Barracuda, lowest miles in the world. Even a 2016 Viper ACR. From cars that even your great-great-grandparents couldn't have driven. Bel Air, land barges. I mean, look at this thing. 17 feet long. Look at that beautiful, beautiful paint. Most of the cars in here are restored. But look at this. This is my car. Stock. Car guys can see the potential to be able to turn it into something like this. I mean, look at it. It's beautiful. This is a 1970 Charger RT. It's a Pro Touring model, and it's been fully restored to factory condition. It's got a motor swap and makes double the horsepower. But you might be asking, why do car guys like to make their car so loud? It's not to impress other people. Honestly, it's because we think it sounds good. The biggest reason that a lot of people will make the car loud, at least in my case, is they want to be noticed on the highway. So, Hot Wheels. As little boys, we all got Hot Wheels. It was what you gave kids. This isn't fully, stock. It's pretty. A Viper ACR. It's not exactly the most, classic, but it doesn't exist anymore. They stopped production. This is a Toyota Prius. You might just see it as a common economy car, but it's nothing of the sort when car guys get a hold of it. We do this. Doesn't matter if you drive a 1,000 horsepower Formula Drift car or something that just looks this good. It just matters that you're driving. And that's what the car community is about. You can be doing wheelies on a drag strip or riding around in a minivan. It's just the love of cars.
My name is Makaya Mays, and this documentary is titled The HBCU Documentary. Today we have Miss Jadora Bailey, Mr. Michael Coleman, and Mr. Donovan. So today I just want to ask you all a question. What is it like going to a HBCU?
Honestly, it's like being at home. The thing I like about being at an HBCU is surrounded by students who know what it's like to be Black in America. You don't get that experience everywhere, so you're surrounded by people who know your struggles, people who want to see you succeed, and honestly, everybody feels like family, even though some of these people you've never met before.
Contrary to what people may believe, it's a lot more diverse than what we put out there. It's just more historically Black, and it's rooted in like Black belief and stuff like that, but it's not necessarily just like a slew of Black people at the school. So for that reason, it's been pretty nice having people from different cultures and different backgrounds come in to see how, how us African Americans get down.
Being that I came from a diverse high school, I was eager to be around my own people again, and it was everything that I expected it to be, and it's very fun, it feels like home, and it just feels good,
What are some of your activities you like to do while going to school?
Honestly, go to work. I love going to work. I work in the athletic department. I love working with our athletes and seeing our team, seeing the process that goes into, putting on a phenomenal season. So I quite frankly love going to work.
Because of the corona, we haven't had many activities around campus planned by like the student leaders or whatever, but sometimes we do things to make it fun. So we sometimes we'll play like Manhunt, or we'll play Uno in the lobby. This is not good, and I don't promote this, but we like race down the highway sometimes just because it's bored, like we have nothing else to do. So we do stuff like that. I don't too much participate in things with people that I don't just know, not right now, but it's okay, it's fun.
At school, I love to walk the class with my friends, hang out with the student center, get something to eat, and we all do homework together and stuff, and yeah.
Do you prefer a HBCU or a PWI?
My opinion, yes. In my opinion, yes. And like I stated before, it's just because HBCUs give a home feeling, and you're surrounded by people who know what you're going through. I feel like at PWIs, yes, you do meet people from different cultures and aspects of life, but you don't really meet many people that you can relate to, and people who relate to things that you're going through. So I feel like HBCUs are better than PWIs.
I would not say that HBCUs are better than PWIs, but I would not say that PWIs are better than HBCUs. I think that everybody goes to school for a different reason. Everybody has their own reason for being in school, and you should find the place that fits you. Personally, I am glad that I did go to an HBCU first. I do plan on going to a PWI. I will say that it is very, 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 very different. It's a totally different ball game. Even with like admissions and financial aid and trying to get into the school, it's a different experience with the PWI than it is at HBCU. And I'm going to be honest, it's not always better with HBCUs. My personal experience, I've had better responses from PWIs, faster responses, but the HBCUs offer more money, so you just kind of have to, yeah.
Okay. I get that question a lot, and me personally, I have been in diverse schools for a long time. I've never been in an all-Black school. So when I got to HBCU, I was very eager to go to HBCU because I wanted to be around all Black people. And when I got to HBCU, it was just like, this is everything that I wanted it to be. And I just could not see myself in a PWI simply because I've been in diverse schools for so long and I wanted a different atmosphere. So I say yes because it's just like the energy is so different and just upper echelon, baby.
Why did you choose the school that you are attending?
Well, I grew up at Alcorn State University. I'm a third generation legacy, so I've known Alcorn my entire life. This was an easy choice for me.
Funny story. My mind was set on going to Ole Miss from June of 2019 until March of 2020. Like, I knew I was going to Ole Miss. I had Ole Miss everything. I had double bed, I had the yard signs, the shirts, the tags, everything. I was so excited about Ole Miss. I think I had already paid for housing, orientation, my schedule, all of this stuff. I paid for it all before I graduated high school. And then at the last minute, I was like, I really want to do mass communications and I want to be in a choir. Well, Ole Miss doesn't have mass communications and Valley does. The only two schools that I know have really great mass communication programs is Valley and Jackson State. So I was like, well, let's see what they're talking about. And when they started offering financial aid, I think Ole Miss offered me $5,000 for 4 years. And the overall cost for me was like $25,000 a year. And I was like, I can't do anything with $5,000 a year. It doesn't even cover me for a semester. And I don't have $100,000. Versus Valley State offering me the vice president scholarship and a choir scholarship. And then once I got there, I ended up getting another $1,000 scholarship that was a private fund. So it was like, you know, $100,000 versus paying Valley $3,000 a semester. And that was only because I lived on campus. I only had to pay them their $3,000. If I had not lived on campus, I probably would have not even been paying $1,000.
Actually, my family is very deep rooted in Jackson State. My goddad was really big at Jackson State, and he always took me to the games and took me around, and I just followed his lead at Jackson State, and now I'm there. I always loved Jackson State since I was very young, so that's how I got there.
How has going to HBCU influenced your life?
It has really opened my eyes to a lot of problems within the Black community. Being just a regular student in Mississippi, you honestly don't get a lot of education on Black issues. You learn what's taught in school, which is honestly European history. Going to a HBCU, you learn the problems that African Americans go through, not only just in the state of Mississippi and other states. We have some students from out of the country, as you know, the NSARS movement. So going to a HBCU opens my eyes to many other problems that other students face. It also helped my activism, because there's students that want to see a change, and they don't just talk about it, we actually go out and we do stuff about it. So going to a HBCU has been very, very good for me, just as far as opening my eyes and encouraging me to be the person that I always said I wanted to be.
It's honestly made me appreciate and understand more about where I come from and what it means to be Black. One thing I do know and I do like is that you don't have to always explain the hurt and the pain behind being African American. Like, you don't have to constantly tell somebody what this means or what that means, because everybody's been in the same situation. Even though we're very diverse, a lot of the people that we have there are like mixed or Mexican and African, so they understand. They already know. And it makes me appreciate the fact that Black people can be together and it's not always something negative. Like, we push each other, we fight. We do have arguments. We ain't had no physical fights, but we do have little arguments and tussles or whatever, but it's like, at the end of the day, you know, we really all we got at this place. We really all we got at this point. So, especially with the organizations I'm in, because I'm a cheerleader, I'm in the choir, I'm in student government, and I'm in the Student Alumni Association. So I have a lot of different groups of people that I can talk to and maneuver with. So that's also been.
I feel like it influenced my life because
once again, just being around your own people, it makes you happy and it makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel like you don't have to try to fit in or try to dim down yourself to not do too much, not do too less. You just all feel like you're on that same level and it doesn't stress you out to be something that you're really not. So yeah, I feel like just being a peaceful life and peaceful going to the school that you feel comfortable at, it does a lot for your life.
In 1956, Louisiana State Senator Theodore M. Hickey authored the act which established the University of New Orleans. At the time, New Orleans was the largest metropolitan area that didn't have a public university. The university was originally a branch of Louisiana State University, but after a decade, the name was changed to the University of New Orleans, which I'll call UNO from now on. My name is Matthew Cox, and I'll be spending the next 4 years of my life here. Over winter break, my family and I decided to take a 3-day visit to New Orleans. We took the first 2 days to hang around, go out to eat, and visit a few shops. I learned how to peel shrimp and that I spend way too much money on comic books. The last day, we went on a small tour of the UNO campus. However, when we arrived, we couldn't find our tour guide, so my mom and I just walked around for a bit. It was a little eerie walking around an empty campus. As we walked around, the cawing of crows like out of an Alfred Hitchcock movie surrounded us, which gave it a nice ghost towny atmosphere. But after a while, our tour guide finally showed up along with a few other people, and we went along with the tour. Out of all the colleges I've looked into, UNO is probably the one for me. The cultural hub of New Orleans is great for me. It's no New York, which is always someplace I've wanted to live, but it's close. The campus looks nice, the film program there looks good. It's just, as we walked through the campus, it truly dawned on me just how much more I'd see of these buildings. I made my decision to go here when I turned in my application, and then I got accepted. It's a bit existential. I know where I'm going to be in the next 4 years, but I don't really know who I'll be. My ultimate goal is to major in film, minor in philosophy, maybe teach film history and theory at some college. I love talking and dissecting movies, so it seems like a perfect fit. But after 4 years here, who knows what'll change? I have some aspirations here besides getting good grades and making some friends. I might want to join a film club, or make one if it doesn't exist, make a few movies just for the sake of making a movie, and generally just have fun and do what I want. I know it's not the most noble or greatest of desires, but I'm fortunate to have found something that I'm really passionate about at an early age. Ever since I was about, say, 8 or 9, I wanted to make movies. But as I got older, I fully realized what I wanted to do. I wanted to talk about movies. Making movies takes a lot out of me. If I do become a filmmaker, I'd probably only make 5 or 6 movies, and that's being very generous. I'm also never fully satisfied with my work afterwards. I always feel I could have done it better, or I should have done something differently. However, I can endlessly talk about movies and have no worries or troubles of doubt. But who knows what'll change? Perhaps I won't do any of those things I just mentioned and just go through college on autopilot. Perhaps I'll live my childhood dream of being a film director, or maybe I'll become a film critic as I like doing that too. I'm not sure where the next 4 years will take me. Throughout the trip, my mom kept asking, "So is UNO where you want to go?" And I'd always say, "Sure." She would chuckle and say how I never have a strong opinion on anything, something like that, and I guess I really don't. I had the same reaction when I got accepted into Mississippi School of the Arts. Just kind of that's nice, with a slight smile. It's difficult to describe my emotions about going to UNO and other decisions that are just as important. I want to go there, but there isn't really an intense desire. Or maybe there is, I'm not sure exactly what it is. To use the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows, agnosthesia means the state of not knowing how you really feel about something, which forces you to sift through clues hidden in your behavior as if you were some other person. That's how I feel about a lot of things. I'm not sure how I feel about most things. I've come to realize very early on what the two things I truly care about are: movies and my friends and family. Or is that technically three things? Well, I feel like I'm in a place of unease and uncertainty, but also content. I don't know what direction I'm heading in, or even if it's the right one, but I know what I'm going to do once I get to where I'm going. And I feel like that place is UNO.
Okay, thank you so much, and we'd like to ask our seniors to come up for our Q&A. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves and the documentary that they worked on.
Hi, I'm Makaya Mays, and I directed the HBCU documentary.
Hi, I'm McLean Boyd, and I directed The Artist Climb.
Hello again. I'm Madison Laird, and I directed Behind Alternative Fashion.
I am Ronnie Reese, and I directed A Day in the Life of the PHI Air Crew.
I'm Matthew Cox, as you saw a minute ago, and I directed and did everything else for UNO and me.
I'm Connor Davis, and I don't remember the name because I made that.
Why do we love cars?
Why do we love cars?
Hey, how y'all doing? My name's Cornelius. I directed School versus Virtual.
Any questions for our filmmakers? Yes.
What was it like working with the greatest stranger ever and also join the people?
That's a shout out to Zoe's roommate, Simon. My subjects were amazing. Honestly, I had a great time working with all of them. One of them is in the house tonight, Annabella Laird. She is my sister, and so, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
I have the same last name.
You can see the impact, of course, with COVID, because a lot of it was on Zoom and things like that. Was the idea for your documentary really dictated by your circumstances, or did you have the idea and you make it work for you?
Is this for me or for everyone? Just
Whoever wants to answer.
So with my documentary, originally I kind of wanted it to be more like a panel discussion with my people there. But due to COVID, I had to do it all through Zoom on different days. And they weren't able to really have a panel discussion like I wanted. But it still came out pretty good in my eyes.
All right. So, going into a warehouse full of cars, there's a limited amount of people that could be there, and for like a limited amount of time, apparently. I don't know. But you know, wearing masks, being able to, because I used my phone for the entire portion of that was filmed, and I edited it. I can't say that. Edited it here, actually up there. It was kind of a challenge, really.
Was this the documentary that all your subjects got COVID on?
Yes, every single person that I was going to interview, which I said 6, but it was about 16. I was gonna interview a lot of people. They all got COVID.
None of those people go to this.
No. It was great. Just texting people, being like, hey, can you do an interview? And they're like, nope, got COVID. Yeah, that was a big letdown.
No.
Oh, Greg, I got a question for you. Yeah. How did...
Yeah.
Yeah. How did...
The bigger problem?
Yeah, the much bigger problem. Yeah. How did that affect you?
He's talking about, I was in a car wreck, I was the passenger. I'm a great driver, I promise. But broke a bunch of bones, almost got paralyzed. I had to be put in a halo and was at my house for the entire last semester.
You died?
I did die, yeah. So really we just had to drive slow and couldn't really look down or up too high. That's about it. Couldn't turn my head left or right.
So you're just kind of...
I had like a little gimbal. You know, I had my phone on it, so I just kind of held it out there like that. Wasn't that hard.
You want to go back to it?
No.
Anyone else?
I can make that happen.
Question? What? Yes.
What is it like living with what I assume is your father? Is that eventful?
Me? My father? Oh, yeah, because I think he's a comedian or something. He went into the wrong career, I guess.
Well, I've got one. You have all of our junior filmmakers. What advice would you seniors give to the juniors as they go into their second semester finishing their final projects for the year?
Do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want, because you're not going to be happy with it if it's something that you really don't want to do. So if you want to do it to the best of your ability.
Don't procrastinate. Just don't do it. Because once you have to try and make your film 3 days before it's due, you're gonna feel like, why did I do that? You're gonna feel so much better, like doing it on time and having time to make it all pretty and such. I think we can all relate to that.
Just because whatever you make is perfect, it doesn't mean that there will be issues along the way. Like tonight.
Wait your turn. Alright, if you truly want to improve as filmmakers, I suggest read and study as much as you can. Watch your favorite movies over and over again. Watch anything, really, that can just help you. Read books. I know that doesn't sound fun, but they kind of are fun if you find the right ones.
It sounds counterintuitive.
Well, you can just fall down a set of stairs.
And on anybody. At all. Depend on yourself.
Maybe. Just wake up on time. That's all you gotta do. Just depend on yourself. Absolutely.
My advice for you juniors is, yes, do not procrastinate. It's a very traumatic thing. Also, with everybody has their strong suit in like with media, like with Greg, his would be cinematography. He's really good with that. Addison would be like, she's really good at everything. Let me just be honest with you. Mine's more of like an idea aspect. Like I'm good with ideas, but putting together is like a whole different thing. Matthew, great. Everybody's great. So if you have a strong suit, work on that, but also know that there are other things that you have to look at and work on that as well. That's it.
Yes.
Actually, I have two questions for McLean. Was it hard getting your interviewer people together in a pandemic?
Yes.
All right, great question.
Next question. Where did you get the picture to me?
I have it. It's on my computer.
Will you send it to me?
Well, I mean, it's on the school computer.
I feel like this could have been an email.
Yes.
Can we have a complaint forum?
Yes. I want that.
You have time for one more?
Well, just to go on the question before, I would say, yeah, it was kind of hard getting all my two of them were teachers, so I had to find time while they weren't teaching class. I mean, for Mr. Shelburne, that was pretty easy, but for Dr. Brooks, it wasn't as easy. And as for my other two subjects, Connor, love you, man, thank you for doing that. And the McMorrises, one of the families that I work with at the Brookhaven School of Theater. It was also just kind of hard trying to make sure we're organized while also making good questions, though. But hopefully entertain you all and give you some good insight. Yeah.
And Tay, you'll be our last question.
I have a question for Nikki.
Hi.
What's it like being so British? You see, I don't even know what, because y'all know I'm doing like a bum half the days, but you know, I don't know, it just feels normal. But some days it's a little too much. I can deal without it some days. Thank you though.
Well, that is all the time we have for tonight. Yes, please give our filmmakers another round of applause. And we thank you so much for coming, and those of you who are joining our live stream, thank you so much for tuning in. If you do like the films that you saw this evening, please keep an eye out for our YouTube channel, MSA Media Arts on YouTube, as we are going to release more films in the coming weeks that have been completed recently. And we hope you'll join us for our next showcase, May 8th or the 9th. And thank you again.